Hi everyone, it's Jackie. So I'm here today to share my April design team project for Kerr. And I'm using one of her embellishment packs. There's a couple of them. So I'm ready to share. So this is an altered book. And it was a labor of love. It took a long time, but I absolutely am loving how this came out. So I used the pages from her embellishment kit. I also used pages I showed you on the last video from a vintage children's verses book that I have. And so let's just kind of look at this. So on the front and around, I did some white tissue paper Mod Podged on. And it's very chunky. And here's the back. I'll show you that again when I take the ribbon off. I decided this ribbon, well, not quite my style, went really well with the book and the pages because it's just, and there's glitter all over the place. But anyway, I think it's fun. You may not want to keep it on there when it finds its new home. But anyway, so here's the cover. And I did some mixed media on here. I started with a piece of just corrugated cardboard from a box, an old, cardboard box. I'm just making sure I'm in the frame here. And I just started to layer. I layered more cardboard. I layered pieces that I ripped from pages in the book. I did some watercolor on here and just had kind of fun making it. This was the first part that I actually did for this journal. And I went with the colors of this cutie pie little bird. Absolutely love him. Hang on, I'm going to wipe some of this glitter off of here. Absolutely love this little bird. He just looks like he's a little baby to me, a little baby bird, and I think he's adorable. And I just did down here on the spine. And on the back, I had shown this before in the last video. These were an image and a poem from the children's verse book that I have. I put some little gold glitter on there for the water. I love that little guy. He's so cute. Okay, so let's look inside. Let's look inside. Oh, I'm just going to stand up because I want to make sure that you're seeing all of this. All right. Oh, here we go. So we're going to open up. Now, this was an old a Reader's Digest book that I altered. And here we are into the cover. And I just went right over, the inside that was already there with this beautiful green paper. And this is the inside of the Children's Garden Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. So this was one of the pages, and I just ripped a little. This page had been, lovingly, this book had been taped together to try to stay together, but it was totally falling apart. But I love the colors in here. They're just so beautiful. And I love that parts of this book are going to be in here and kept for a long time. Lots of writing spaces in this journal. These are actual pages. A lot of the pages from the book are in here, and I did use them. Of course, because it's an altered book. Here are a couple of pages from the kit. Now, I often, a lot of my friends will say, but now there's nowhere to write on here. But there is. You can write over this whole thing if you wanted to. Pencil would even show up on here if you wanted to. But they're just beautiful the way they are. You could make a pocket on the side if you wanted to. Whatever you wanted to do in here, of course, is fine, but just beautiful. Love these tulips. I wish I had some in real life that looked like that. They're gorgeous. And so on this page, I made a little pocket here on the bottom, just with some of the paper. And this is just a plain piece of paper. And then a couple of little ephemera pieces that came from the kit. My little bird friend again. And this is just some coffee dyed paper from Emily at Vintage Polka Dot Shop. and I can see right now I have to fix this. I did use a glue stick on some of this, and it was just an Amazon glue stick, and I gotta say, I had to go back and re-glue a lot of pages, so I guess that's not really the one to use. But also, the paper in this book was hard to glue down. Even with my art glitter glue, sometimes I had to go back and double glue things. I don't know why. So again, lots of some journaling space, just with beautiful pieces of the images. I did a lot of tearing and a lot of stuff. Here's just a little side embellishment with a part of a tag, again on some cardboard. Just the fun. These were so much fun to make and so quick and easy. I could have stitched them. I did not do a lot of stitching for things in here. So here, this was all one page, and I tore it in half because these pages are like, the book is like 15 inches by, I don't know, 10 or something. It's huge. So I had to really pick and choose and be careful. And so this is the wheel to the wagon here, and this was part of the poem that was on that page. So I simply made 2 pockets here, like this. And this is just a piece of some of the kit. And I just made things really rustic and tearing and things. Little cheesecloth on this tag with this little bird. Here's another piece of just some of that coffee dyed paper from Emily. And in this tuck spot, so I did a little bit of with my watercolor pencils. I did a little watercolor. I just had seen someone do some of that and tried it on a few things. This is a page from that vintage book. On the book, around each page was quite a large border, at least an inch. So I used a lot of that. You can see that's the border from there to there from this book. So I used it in a lot of places. And this piece is from the kit. And I just double tucked these little guys in here. And that's from the vintage book, a piece of vintage book and a little piece of the kit. And I just tucked them like that. And then this is a top pocket here. So it has this big tag right here, like this. And on the top, some of that vintage book again. I tuck that back in there. And then I also have, actually, oh, hi, Coops. Yeah, you can't really be in the way. You just came to say hi to everyone, Mr. Cooper. Okay. Just a little embellishment here. This is a pocket like this, and I just have tucked in a couple of tags. A tag from a page of the kit and just a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper. A friend of mine gifted me some beautiful cotton paper, and I've been using that not only to print on, but just to make some little tucks. Here. Now this page, okay, this was wicked fun, and just let me show you. Coops, I know you're not a helper. You're not a helper right now. I want to show you the piece of. All right, so I get some food from Daily Harvest. This is not an advertisement for them, and this is actually a larger piece. But I took a smaller one like this, and I just covered it. I left one of the flaps on, so the flap became a belly band on this side with a little journaling card. Here's a piece I actually did sew around there. You know how you have those ideas like in the night? That's when I get them, in the night. And then I just created this, so it's a flip out. You can see that, right? And I just collaged on this piece. So all I started with was this piece of cardboard junk from something I had. I took off one side, and you could do it either way. Actually, I had planned on it going on a side like this, but then I ripped off the wrong side of here, and I just kept one side, and then it made this flip in here. Isn't that fun? I think that's super fun. This is from the book at the inside cover, actually, page, and I ripped it apart and put it right here so it looks like it's back together. Here's some of that vintage tape. So cool, isn't that? I love that. I think that's so cool. This is from a vintage dictionary that I just put on here and put a little embellishment here. Again, you can write right over this. There's so much writing space. Here in this altered book are pages that made a pocket here. And I just made some tags to pop in there like that. Did both of those end up? Oh, you can tell I loved this image, right? That one with the tulips. There it is again. And again, one of these little tabs that I made with the vintage book page and a piece from the kit. Here's this image again because I just love it. Can't get beyond it. And this is this image again. And I kind of ripped this down and just glued it on this envelope. And then inside, there's just some writing paper that I stuck in here, some of that lovely cotton writing paper. And then this can just go right back in the top, hopefully easily. Oh, don't get caught on there. Yeah, it's getting caught on my cheesecloth. Oh, it's just fighting me a little because I'm trying to do it while standing up. And okay, come on. Come on now. It is just being a tad bit grumpy. Okay, I'm not sure. We'll leave you out for now because I don't want to fight with you. I used, so we've been cleaning out my mom's house, as I think I've mentioned before. She passed away a couple of months ago, and we've been cleaning out. Boy, have we found some gems. Man, I wish my mom had shared with us when she was still with us. But this black paper is from an old album book that she had put together of some of her friends she graduated with from high school. And oh, just let me show you because we were going to throw it away and I was like, hey, wait a minute. And so it's going to be way too big, but look at this album, okay, for photographs. Isn't that going to be a beautiful cover? And then inside, there's this old black paper, and then there's cards, vintage cards, and pictures of her classmates. And these girls are so gorgeous. Anyway, so that's where this black paper is coming from. It's a little fragile, but it's okay. It's not so bad. So I tucked that. I just left the edge on where it hooked into the book and put this little guy in there. And it's, that's really falling apart, so I will make good use of that. Another page here with a little doily on here and another tab. And this became, that little tab is there. And then it's a side pocket with a big card. Looks like I need to cover over that a little bit because you can see right through that. More pages from that vintage children's book, and it was about autumn fires, and these little guys were here on one part of it. Looks like they're playing a little close to that fire. I hope somebody's watching them. And I had shown you this page too before, where I took part of an image and I took it apart, put it together again on these pages, and put some of that side edging of that vintage book in there. And then down here I just made a little tuck spot and tucked in a couple pieces of ephemera. Here we go, some vintage dictionary page and pages from the kit. And this was some more of that my watercolor pencils I used on here. This piece came from part of this. It was either on the side or down at the bottom somewhere, so it's the same coloring. And here are some little tags. There's lots of room to stick things in. I put a lot of tags in, but there's still a lot of places. And just white paper, and I kind of like how this shows through here. That's just the writing from the page. Here's another tuck spot going this way, right here. So I did a little collaging just from pages from that vintage book and from the kit. My favorite little bird there. This one I did some watercolor on. This is also a top pocket. So in the top there's a giant journaling card. Let's see if this guy will go back in nicely. They want to fight me. Yes. Oh, maybe it's not because it's the wrong page. That one came out of here. Oh my gracious. All right, so you turn. Then there's more collaging here with some of the paper from the album a dictionary page, and some pieces from the kit. So all kinds of goes together, and there's that journaling card which is in there. Lots of pieces sticking out of here, which I really like. I showed you this in the last video, how it was a side pocket, a big pocket, and I just simply cut down and made